Welcome back to my Appalachian Spring 2026 road trip. The last time I checked in, I was just arriving in Maggie Valley. And now, 2 days later, I'm in Cherokee, 16 miles away. Let me tell you how I got here. Day 9, I woke up in Maggie Valley and I found a local coffee shop. I camped out at a table and I started working on some videos. If I'm not riding and capturing video or having dinner, I'm usually editing. I went to Maggie Valley because I wanted to check out Dale Walksler's collection of about 400 vintage motorcycles. He has a museum called Wheels Through Time, and even though I'm not a huge vintage motorcycle person, some of these machines are genuinely remarkable. With limited materials and limited technology, people over the years have made some incredibly beautiful machines. You'll notice the little oil trays under the bikes. This says a lot about what it takes to keep all these motorcycles running. It's definitely worth a visit if you're in the area. That afternoon, I took the short ride down to Cherokee. Mostly a repositioning move. Down Route 19 for 16 miles. It's a pretty road, but I was behind another biker who was behind a car the whole way. Not every ride needs to be a mission. I checked into my hotel and ended the day with dinner at Gordon Ramsay's restaurant at the casino across the street. Day 10. This was my last full riding day in the Smokies, and I wanted to do it right. So I decided to make a loop, counterclockwise, around the park, and take another run at some of the roads I wanted to remember. So I left before sunrise, and I took 441 Newfound Gap Road, west this time, from Cherokee towards Gatlinburg. And the road at this hour is just a different experience than any other time. The sun rising behind me, the light hitting the mountains in front, and I had almost the entire road completely to myself. Well, me and about 20 elk. They were walking in the fields and grazing along the side of the road. And one was right at the edge of the road, and he and I made eye contact, but unfortunately, the bike spooked him. Sorry about that, dude. I went up to Newfound Gap and then took the long ride down to Sugarland Visitor Center. I wanted to take another loop around that pigtail. Sugarland Visitor Center, I went down to Cades Cove. In the last video, I pronounced it Cades Cove, but someone was nice enough to correct me. Apparently it's Cades Cove. Laurel Creek and Little River Gorge roads have real river road character. They don't climb, they don't descend, they stay pretty flat, but they're tight and twisty running along the river. At Cades Cove, I rode the 11-mile scenic road again. I was hoping to get in early enough for wildlife, and I did get to see one bear in the distance. The cove itself has open valleys and lots of historic structures, and you can really see the scale of the Smokies as you're riding around. Out of the park and through Townsend, I got back on the Foothills Parkway going south. It's a flowing road, Sweeping turns, gradual climbs, gradual descents. But there was still one road I hadn't yet ridden. I got off the Parkway just before Look Rock Overlook, and I got onto Happy Valley Road, and it's the complete opposite of the Parkway. Happy Valley is tight and steep, with tons of switchbacks. The twisty section is only about 3 miles, but there's a lot packed into that 3 miles. As it continued south, it opened up, and it was a nice run down to 129. Before I started heading northeast and back home, I wanted to take one more ride on the Dragon. I got there on Monday at about 12:30. It was busier than it was on Friday morning when I rode it, but certainly not as busy as it gets on the weekends. There were a few cars, but there were a lot of bikes, and they wanted to go fast. So a few times I pulled over and let them go. I'm no speed junkie, and I'm no expert rider, so it's important to me to just ride my ride. I got to Deals Gap and had lunch. There were about 25-30 other bikers there. I walked over to the Tree of Shame, where all the broken parts from all the wrecks that happened on the Dragon are hanging in the tree. And I decided that if nothing of yours is hanging on the tree, you had a good day. From there, it was 28 again, back past Fontana Dam, and a peaceful close to a big day. I don't think you can ever completely cover this area. There are hundreds of roads still down here, but I covered it thoroughly enough. And I think this loop was a fitting end to this chapter of my trip. So tomorrow, I'm going to say thanks to the Smokies as I leave them behind and start heading north. One road a lot of people recommended was the Rattler. I think I'm going to give that a try tomorrow. I'll keep you posted.